Welcome to End User Input. I'm your host, Savannah. I've got our sound god, Tayson.
Hi.
Resident techie, Justin. And our fantastic source of sarcasm, Jason.
Hey.
And this week, our big story is that Blizzard has officially canceled its MMO Titan. They've been in development on it for 7 years, but eventually I guess the team was just too burned out. Didn't really feel like they were passionate about it and wanted to produce a good product as opposed to a crappy one. So they've decided to pull the plug on it, much in the same way they did with StarCraft Ghost a few years ago.
Yeah, that always made me sad.
That made everyone sad.
It sucks because it seemed like it was going to be really, really cool. I mean, I'm not huge on MMOs, but I would have played it.
Just to say, like, I've heard the name. I have no idea of anything else about this project. And anyone want to fill me in on that a little bit?
Jason, you got any
I actually don't know much about the actual project itself. The only thing I know is, like, they had taken it essentially back to the drawing board 1 or 2 times beforehand. Just apparently because of the reasons that they ended up canceling it is, like, they didn't find the fun. They didn't really see where they were going with it, and so they kept taking it back to the drawing board, and I guess it obviously ended up leading to them canceling it. But that's all I know about it. I don't know any of the story or content or anything.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, it was never actually officially announced because they were still working on the concept for it.
Well, and it doesn't seem like they were even worried about making a good product. It seems more like they were worried about, at least from what I read, it seems more like they were worried about the type of product it was going to be. They're like, they're worried that, do we want to be always shoehorned into making the exact same game over again? It's, same type of game.
Well, especially whereas, like, I was not with WoW in the beginning, but I have a lot of friends who were, and a lot of the new stuff when I was playing WoW was very next gen. It looked like brand new games on the Xbox if you had everything turned up. So I think, like, a lot of the resource they were spending on it may have been into updating their current products. Though, I have to say, it's, like, speaking from having made a game, going back to the drawing board, like, you do that several times. Because if you don't, you're probably not going to get something very good, because you are, like, too attached to things.
It's true. What amazes me is that they were willing to sink 7 whole years into it. I mean, starting from the drawing board once or twice, sure, that'll add, maybe a year or 2 onto your development cycle, but 7 years is a long-ass time.
Well, and 7 years, and then they have the guts, they have the balls to just say, you know what? This isn't what we want. We're going to just stop this. I mean, to have the kind of confidence as a company to be able to say, you know what, we're going to take this thing we've invested 7 years of who knows how much time. I mean, even if it was just a background, like, very small project, 7 years is a long time to spend on that. And just to be able to say, you know what, this was a mistake.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and I was reading something else that said, I think analysts had put it at $30 million had gone into the creation of this game. But that said, like, they have a multinational hit in World of Warcraft, and that's how many millions of players at $15 a month.
Well,
so it's like, times that out.
The average comes down from $15 a month because of all the people in China. They actually have a much lower subscription rate, but still, you're right. That's a lot of people giving a lot of money every month. So Blizzard can kind of afford to cancel a game they've put 7 years into because they've got the money, so they're gonna be fine as far as that goes.
And as you pointed out, it's not the first game either. Like, how many games have these guys tried to make and it just never happened?
Well, and at least it's not as dramatic a process as StarCraft Ghost was. I mean, it seemed like every couple of years they were like, no, really, we've handed it off to this other dev team and it's going to be great. So you'd have hope again, and then a couple of years later, oh, well, we had some issues, but now we're doing this different thing with it and it's going to be great. And
I remember seeing, I think, 4 different
Toyed with my
pre-order
emotions.
boxes with in GameStop over the years.
Yeah.
Oh, good times. Well, then
I'm
again,
still
like,
hopeful that
yeah,
StarCraft
like,
Ghost will see the light of day sometime. I want
Yeah.
that to happen.
someday.
But then again, they also have the new card game Hearthstone that I have a lot of friends raving about.
Oh, yeah, Hearthstone.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to play it, but you know, that hasn't happened yet, sadly.
Yeah, same.
Well, that one, I don't know. I don't know if you can necessarily compare it. I mean, it's a different kind of game entirely.
Well, yeah, it's just, you know, I'm saying it's like they're just they've shifted their focus, obviously. Like, that they were able to come out with 1, 2, 3, 4 games in the time that it took them to just get over this one.
That's true.
Wait, so 4 games being...
StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty, StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm, Diablo 3.
Wait, you count those as 2 separate games?
They are.
They are?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're both have...
They have their own storylines and
Well, okay, but I just says because I guess they're all based on the same, like...
They have the same engine and stuff, but there
Yeah.
was still a lot of creative process going
Okay.
into, you know, I've heard they actually have quite long and robust campaigns.
Okay, cool. So those
So
2
they are
StarCrafts.
2 StarCrafts, Diablo 3, Hearthstone, and then all of the World of Warcraft updates as well. So
yeah, didn't Mists Pandaria come out?
Mists of Pandaria, Cataclysm. I know for sure those 2 came out. I'm not sure about Wrath of the Lich King, but
I think that was just a little before. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure Wrath was... If Titan's been in development for 7 years, Wrath came out in the meantime of that. I'm pretty sure.
well,
Well, it's too bad that this
so yeah,
project
that would
kind
be-
of fell out, but you know, maybe it means they'll start working on something even better.
yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Man, speaking of things falling
I
out.
have-
Oh yeah. So our next story, of course, is that Kickstarter has updated its new terms of use to include a contingency for projects that don't really pan out. I mean, they were pretty vague before, but we knew it had to happen eventually because we've already seen a few infamous examples of projects going south in spectacular fashion.
And people keeping all the money from those projects.
True.
And see, and I wondered, because I have it's weird, I have simultaneously very little and a lot of faith in the human race, but in this particular case, I expected more and more people to try the whole Kickstarter scam thing. Why isn't that more of a problem? That's what I'm wondering. Were their measures not enough?
Well, no. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of Kickstarter scams, and, you know, we've all heard about, you know, the Kickstarter potato salad.
Actually, no.
Yes.
A guy, just to fill you in.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
A guy posted on Kickstarter, he wanted $5 to make potato salad.
I think was it 5? I think it was, well, it was some negligible sum.
And he ended up making, like, $50,000 or $60,000.
Because enough people says, you know what? I want, did he offer to, put it on video or something?
Yeah, he offered to put it on video.
It's kind of cool though.
Yeah, and like
Because
there's a cookbook.
What ended up happening was he raised so much money that he's actually going to use it to put on a charity event to raise awareness for various charities. In
He
addition
got so
to
much
shipping.
money, he's going to
Sorry, what?
raise even more money.
Yeah.
Well, that's valid. Plus, he's going to.
It's not for
shipping
him,
it
obviously, but it's just
everywhere,
kind of
all over
funny.
the world.
Yeah.
So if you were in that Kickstarter, you get a bite of potato salad.
Yeah, it'll be rotted and gross, but you got it.
Okay, so from what they used to do to what they're doing now with their terms of use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it seems like a lot of this stuff would be fairly standard. Like they should have had some of these measures already. What's the difference?
Well, I mean, I think it's just because before their wording was more arbitrary. Now they still are kind of washing their hands of the matter, but now there's actually some kind of recourse for people who have paid into it to be able to say, no, you haven't done any of these things, and so now if I want to come after you, I totally can.
Yeah. Well, and in law, language is intensely important, like how things are worded.
Yes.
Well, that's
and
just my point. Work diligently and in good faith. I mean, a lot of these words, almost every word you can weasel around, you know?
Well, it's true, but, like, even then, like, a lot of this stuff is, like, it's giving the judge leeway. So it's like if they fail to meet their things and fail to put out any product at all, like, they first of all owe the people their money back.
Right.
And if none of that ever happens, this gives them a way to say, I feel this was this wrong and this is why. And these words give the judge the leeway to say, you're correct, they did not act in these ways.
Right. Or if they did try to do it and failed, but they says, hey, look, we didn't misuse the money, it just didn't work out. We tried. Okay.
Yeah, because you still have to have risk for Kickstarter to work out.
Right.
In good faith is a great phrase because it's so flexible. But at the same time, when you really need to use it, you really can.
So basically they've changed it from you invested, it's your fault, to if you did everything you could to get this product out and it didn't happen, there's no legal recourse. But if you're just being a giant dick, people can sue your ass off.
Right. And I don't know, it seems like with this would help a lot more with people that are doing more the drive-by Kickstarter stuff where they go look through and they say, oh, this is cool, oh, this is cool. You know, instead of people that's like hear from the community they're in, hey, by the way, there's this Kickstarter that we all like and we all know is good. And then you go in it, because those are less likely to be scams, I think, than...
Yeah. Well, and that's the attitude a lot of people have taken.
What?
I like how you phrased that, the drive-by Kickstarter.
So, Jason, opinions
Yeah.
On
this.
what? Sorry.
The
Got
weather
lost
in
again.
Spain right now.
Weather in Spain. What do you think of the new Kickstarter terms of use?
Yeah, no, because I'm actually really happy to see this stuff finally implemented, because that's been my main complaint with crowdfunding since it started. Was it's kind of just I was going to say buyer beware, but it's really investor beware. It's like, oh, they took all your money and they didn't give a shit about the project that they said they were going to create. Too bad for you. So I'm happy to see that they're finally making some changes that most people have been calling for since crowdfunding started. So it's good to see something like this happening.
Oh, for sure.
So do you guys think that, because Kickstarter isn't the only crowdfunding company out there?
Yeah.
So what do you think this
Service.
is going to filter into the other ones? I mean, do you think they're just setting a good example and others will follow, or what?
I think that depends, because if I remember right, I backed an Indiegogo a while back, and there was one other that I backed. Oh wait, no, that one actually was through Kickstarter. But or maybe it was a Rocket Fund. I don't know. But if I remember the terms of use correctly, like, Kickstarter didn't have this stuff, but a lot of the newer ones had some sort of, like, beginner type, like, where it wasn't quite as explicit as these are, but, like, something in there to kind of help with that. But, like, not all of them did, and I'm pretty sure it will filter through.
Okay.
Because...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Indiegogo had something in place already, not extremely strict or powerful for the users to be protected by, but something was there. And I'm sure now that Kickstarter is starting to roll out a bit more strict guidelines on this, that the other crowdfunding services will as well.
Well, and one of the things that can help along with this is, like, to be able to say, were they trying their best to get this project finished? The amount of overhead it takes when you're trying to work on something to document it, you know, so like if Kickstarter decided, okay, well, to ensure that we know that your backers know what they're getting into, we're going to have you give us this hugely detailed plan of action, and at every step we have to make sure we know everything. It's like, well, then wouldn't that that'd discourage people? So
well, it would discourage people, but at least on, like, the video game side, if you're making a video game, if you're making a game that's gonna work and be profitable, chances are you have the kind of documentation they're looking for anyway.
Yeah, but I was thinking more the physical projects.
Oh, like
when people are trying to make like some sort of physical thing, like a 3D printer design or
like board games or things.
Or
like
that. Like I'm not talking like, because with like. Yeah. Documentation, for one thing, is actually helpful when you're developing software.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like you do that automatically, or at least you should be doing that automatically.
PSA, guys, document everything.
God, I have a few bones to pick with Microsoft's. The people that do their documenting of their .NET, there's a few holes there. But anyways.
Well, the nice thing is it also kind of unconsciously encourages people who are trying to get a Kickstarter project funded to practice good PR, because that hasn't always been the case, and with good reason. PR is kind of scary sometimes, especially when your project is not going as well as you'd hoped.
Yeah, things can go awry, but
oh yeah,
like just when creating anything, and this is both PSA and what to watch out for, like if you're wanting to back a Kickstarter to make something good, chances are you have been documenting what's working, what's not, what's going on right now. So look to do that if you're making something, first of all, but also look for people who are already doing that, like even if they haven't, even if it's just their backyard project and they're like, I want to do this. If it's a good Kickstarter, chances are they've already started it anyway and are just like looking for that next step to do it full time, which means they should have some sort of documentation available right then.
Right.
Well, now that we've gotten one of our many PSAs out of the way.
We have a lot of those lately.
Certainly seems like it, but it's for the betterment of humankind, right?
We'll start a segment next week that just says PSA, the film.
The more you know.
Okay, am I retarded? I must have missed the PSA acronym.
Really?
Public service announcement?
Oh. Well, see, now I know it. See, I didn't have that... Yeah. Context, people, context.
And it is kind of it's a media jargon thing. It's been around since the radio days, but
I know what public service announcements are. I just
never
mind. Well, anyway,
I've had to make my fair share of those before. So.
Well, in League of Legends news, they're rolling out new restrictions for toxic players, particularly ranked players who are known for their less than helpful feedback and conversation. Tayson, do you want to fill us in a little more on that?
It's called an experiment right now, but basically what it does is it takes players who are toxic, aka been reported a lot for being douchebags, and makes it so they can no longer play in ranked matches until they play in predetermined amount of non-ranked matches. And I would imagine that the amount of matches they have to play will vary from, offense to offense. Like if you were just a little hateful in one match and get banned for whatever reason, maybe it's one, I would imagine. But that's me, conjecturing.
Have to actually play to find out.
Yeah, exactly.
And be a jerk, which...
I'm not capable of that.
Continue.
But, anyway... And it just makes it so you can't play ranked matches anymore. It makes it so you don't get the end of season rewards that you would normally get until you play enough matches in non-ranked play with enough of a good enough reputation to say you have reformed enough to at least know to keep your mouth shut, if not actually be a better person overall. Which, frankly, I like, because that was one of the bigger things preventing me from playing LoL, besides the fact that I'm terrible at it. Opinions.
Okay. Sorry, you look like you were going to say something.
Oh, Savannah. You can go first.
Oh, well, okay then. One thing that, two things. Everyone, toxic players, I love that term. It's very descriptive. They talk about, they're going to take these, toxic players and they're going to reevaluate them, and if they continue with bad behavior, they're going to stay on restricted status. Well, what do they mean by evaluate? And it's real easy to look at someone who's on there and being a jerk and you say, oh, that guy's being a jerk. Well, that's a human making that judgment. it's really hard to do text filtering, like having computers making these decisions, because like just the regular censoring certain words, I mean, that gets people that don't deserve it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how are they doing this is, I guess, my question.
Well, like there is the reporting process, but like they review those to make sure that it's a legit thing. So that there's that first of all, but I think it's also a volume thing, because actually like the people who are actually toxic enough to whatever, instead of having just like the one freak out, usually get reported multiple times by multiple people for similar or the same offense. And
according to the report, it's only going to affect a very, very small percentage of players in the first place. But
so it is rather subjective, like it really is, but the way they have LoL set up, it still comes back to the moderators, and the moderators have a lot of resources to be able to look back and see, was this, well, because
they can look like chat logs, and actually, do they have like gameplay?
I think they do have logs of that. Yeah, I think
text chat.
Yeah, I think they for sure have text chat, but I do believe they also record matches and have a backlog of that's like, you know, X far out of at least ranked matches that are recorded. So
okay, so they're relying on the essentially crowdsourced filtering where people.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so I guess what you're saying is that they're just relying on people for the reporting, and so what? How does that differ from, because you say they already have a reporting infrastructure set up? Why was it just the punishments couldn't be enacted? They couldn't enforce, saying people, like everyone's already saying, oh, it's this one guy sucks.
Yeah.
And then the moderator says, well, can't do anything about that. Is that what was going on, or?
I think it's more that, you know, you can get your account temporarily banned for being reported so many times, but it doesn't, like, if you're really good at it, it doesn't ultimately stop you, because you can just come back, you know, either with a different account or what have you, and get ranked again and keep getting those same benefits. So this is a way of saying you can keep your old account, but if you're going to keep acting this way, then we're going to have to babysit you until you learn to be better.
Yeah.
Or at least that's the way I
ranked
understand
matches
it.
for you.
Yeah, because like the banning process, like it's almost too harsh too quick, insofar as you just make the player pissed off and then they go make a new account and keep doing the same shit. Like, there's no actual real repercussion per se.
Well, so in this game there aren't very many cumulative benefits then. If it's you could just make another account. Like if you get banned, just say, oh, well, I'm just going to make another account. Well, is it like a complete permanent ban, or is it a...
sometimes, but, like, and it depends, too, because a lot of people have multiple accounts, and, like, the main thing is you have to buy the different characters in the game. You actually have to buy them. Like, there's a set you get for free, but the rest you have to buy. And so to stay competitively edgy, you have to... like, know the new characters, know the different balances, so it's within your interest to have the better players, the better characters, just to know how each of them plays and whatever. And so the permaban could take all of that away, but, like, if you have enough money, you can get all of that instantaneously.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of the punishment, though, is if you get banned or if you get these ranked restrictions and you're mad enough that you want to go get another account, it's like, okay, well, you basically get to buy the game again, because you have to have, or, well, the game's free, but you have to buy all your characters again and spend all this money. So you can get around it, but we're going to make you pay with your wallet. So that's kind of the actual punishment.
So, okay, when you say with your wallet, do you mean real money or virtual money? Then?
Real money.
So making another account implies you pay for another...
Yeah, you make a new account and then
real
you
money to buy
pay for the characters.
Okay,
they're like $1 each or something like that.
Okay, but that's still... Okay, so what's to stop people from still taking that exact same course of action if they just... Like, if they feel that the restricted status is too great, won't they just keep doing what they're already doing?
In theory, I think it's just offering a middle ground that's a little bit more of a... Like, instead of punishment, it's a rehabilitation. Like, so they're just kind of trying out to see, what if we can incentivize being a better person rather than...
Okay. So
punish being a bad one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm actually really happy about this. I wish more games, especially competitive centered games, would implement this type of thing in ranked play. Like back in Halo 3, if something like this was available, it would have made the game so much more fun to play on ranked, because sometimes people in ranked are assholes just for no reason. And so it would have been awesome. It's like, oh, you've been reported 15 times for being an asshole. You don't get to play ranked anymore. Go play the social playlist and leave everybody else alone.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Right.
Well, and generally, people that not all people, but a lot of people that play competitively and get really good usually are doing that a lot. No, I mean, you would expect people that are douchebags to all the people they know to not really have, anything else to do with their time.
Yeah. Well, and like it to a degree in LoL, it's also become a problem in like the actual like professional play as well, where these players, they'd be really, really good, and so people would want them on their team, but then they'd be terrible people to the other team.
Yeah.
And so banning these players was becoming problematic because complaints and things like that, and they could just make another account and join the team again, and it would be a pain, but it's on the professional thing. This is kind of like this would be more along the lines of a suspension,
right?
Like in the NFL, as opposed to a straight up ban.
Well, and I think it sounds pretty cool. I like the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it works out great.
Definitely sounds good to me. But anyway. But they're also League of Legends is also introducing. Well, they're a very competitive based game. People watch their matches all the time, so I guess they're starting scholarship program for college leagues, or how is that working?
Well, there's actually apparently quite a few college leagues, because there's 4 different qualifiers listed here, but the main thing is the NACC, which is the National American Collegiate Championship for League of Legends. And teams can sign up for any of the qualifiers, and I'm sure there's the in-school teams as well. But if you can get to the big championship, and then win or place, you can earn up to $30,000 in scholarships per member. Like that's first place, second place is 15, third and fourth will get 7,500, and it pays for and can be used for anything. Admittedly, it looks like these might not go to all schools, because the school is who determines what scholarships will work or will not. But at the same time, this is still kind of awesome.
Well, I can't think of any sensible rationale for not accepting this type of scholarship. I mean, why would they not? I mean,
because they're very upper crust, and video games are a waste of time.
Okay, but okay, look at like MIT. I could see MIT totally accepting this.
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
I'm trying to think of a college, because colleges are supposed to be institutions of higher learning. Yeah, well, higher learning says technology's.
I would imagine if any don't accept it, it'll be like private super Christian schools or something like that.
I was just about to say they might oppose it because of the violence or something like that.
Sense.
Yeah.
I forget that.
That's the only one I could think of.
But let's be honest, if your school has a League of Legends team, chances are it'll be okay with a League of Legends scholarship. So
yeah, exactly.
What a dream.
But no, that's huge, especially considering you're like competitive gaming's nutso now. Like there's official high school leagues now for StarCraft. Like it is that big.
Oh, I was born in the wrong era.
Yeah.
So I would have been all
I'm happy
over
to
that.
see all this finally, though.
They'd had a Brood War League. Oh,
God. There was like a core group of because I told you, like my graduating class was like 100 people.
Yeah.
And there was a core group of like 10 people that all they did on their lunch breaks was play StarCraft together on the LANs and school LANs, because they didn't give a shit. So the school administrators, and it was pretty fun watching them at some times.
Oh, yeah. Dude, like it always astounds me to watch, because like even high school play is just move. Like it's done so quickly, and I'm like, I could never even hope to match that. I don't think.
Yeah, they're crazy people playing it, because I play StarCraft 2 or played StarCraft 2 a bit with my roommates, and we were all right, but you would see some of these people, and it's just like, how do you even click that fast? How do you know what you're doing with each click?
Well, that's just muscle memory, man. I mean, that's the only way.
Yeah, it's muscle memory and lots of planning. Though
Yeah,
I
'cause,
was
I mean-
rather proud of myself when the first time I played StarCraft 2, and I was playing against a much more experienced friend, and I actually did all of the same things as him, so I had the basic strategy down. I was just about 3.5 times slower than he was.
Yeah. Speed
He
is
was
very,
nice
very
and waited
important.
for me.
You know, that seems... Because I remember hearing about these guys, like, because StarCraft got really competitive, I heard, in, like, Korea? Was it?
Oh,
South
it's their,
Korea.
it's
Yeah,
their
South
national
Korea.
sport.
It's
National sport.
massive.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
kinda-
no, they feel stocks. I can't speak. They they fill soccer stadiums for StarCraft.
See, and
Yes.
okay, first of all, that's cool. That's very cool. But what I remember learning about these people was their keystrokes, or rather actions per minute.
Yeah.
And it's like that always seems to be the bottleneck. It's like it doesn't matter if you are of a tactically greater mind, if you can't exert your will through that interface faster than the guy sitting in the seat next to you, he'll win and you'll lose. And that just seems so counter strategy game to me.
It's weird because like there is kind of a bottleneck where you do have to be X fast, but that's said, if you can be close to that, like an inexperienced player who's super fast will still lose to an experienced player who's not quite.
Right, because he just does
Yes.
stupid stuff faster.
Yeah. So it's like it's still very competitive and like, but it's kind of like regular sports where it's like, once you've been at it for a decade, you're outmoded. Like you just you can't get the new stuff quick enough to
Right.
deal with it.
Okay, and then, just in competitive gaming in general, who was it that was going to buy Twitch? Or did they? Or...
The Amazon.
Oh,
did.
Amazon did.
Amazon
Yeah.
did buy Twitch. So I really wonder, do you think, because this is probably going to be on Twitch, right?
Oh
Probably.
yeah, this stuff is always on.
This
Twitch.
is always on
Yeah,
Twitch.
they always stream on Twitch.
So,
Like I'm thinking about watching some tonight. There might not be any official matches, but
because it's really cool seeing like real tangible, benefits. Like, because some people that I know, they're prejudiced against computers, computer games, the internet. They still feel like it is not real world. Like it doesn't. It's like there's these two spheres in their mind of pretend virtual land and real, like farming the fields type real labor. And so it's interesting to see real $30,000 scholarships, real stuff happening, real competition. And I'm just thinking with Twitch and Amazon and all that stuff, it's like that's probably going to grow right along with this. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's Twitch's like big money makers are the League of Legends championships. So
really,
League of
And
Legends,
we'll talk about it as seasons.
StarCraft.
I want they do have seasons, but it's not like football has a season that starts in September, ends, and then there's an off season. There's never an off season in LoL per se. It's just the big tournaments happen during a specific time of year, and then the rest is small time.
Okay.
That kind of leads up to, So if you're in a league and you lose, you can still join another league and have time to be better and get to the big leagues if you want to.
okay.
Like it's kind of almost tournament bracket like qualifier stuff as opposed to
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I would be very surprised if this sort of thing didn't grow at the rate that in 10 years time we see it having the same amount of at least online presence as regular sports.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you guys. I've still heard my share of, whenever you introduce, I like to watch online game tournaments, the older relative was like, oh, is it just a bunch of dudes playing in their mom's basement? But
Yeah.
But usually it's a bunch of skinny dudes and women playing on giant
people.
screens. Yeah.
yeah, playing on big
In
screens
sold
in
out
these gigantic
convention
stadiums.
centers.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's legitimate. Eventually, people are going to have to recognize it. Anyway, that's my tangent.
Well, they already
speaking-
are starting to recognize it, because you can now, like, some, I think it was South Korean people got athletic visas to come to the United States to compete in StarCraft tournaments. So they're giving out athletic visas and stuff
that's
for
right.
it. So it's starting to be recognized as legitimate sport. So that's good.
Yeah, but that's entirely because it makes money. It'll still take some
True.
time to be socially acceptable.
True. Fair point.
Okay, quick, almost non-related question before we move on.
Sure.
Why hasn't laser tag ever became like a real competitive sport? I always wondered that. Why?
Because
That's a good
most
question.
people saw it in Walmart with the crappy toys and assumed that was as much as it would ever be.
Okay.
Competitive laser
That might be
I don't know.
tag.
It's a thing. My buddy Brett does it. He's
really?
actually one of the best in the nation.
Oh, dude, I
kidding.
want in on that.
Yeah, he made.
Where does he do it?
I don't remember, but like him and his team went to nationals. Yeah,
That's cool.
That's cool.
so
Okay, we
super
gotta get
cool.
in on that. Hit
Yeah.
up the local laser assault, or I don't know what the best thing is around here. I'm still too new
think
to
I'll
this
text him
area.
later, but
You,
I think
you
it's
used
laser
to do
assault.
laser tag. They'd like section off a building at like 10 to 12 at night, and they'd have you do laser tag for like $5 or something. It was, I don't know.
then they got rid of that.
We'll have to look into it.
I know. As soon
it
as I
sounds
have
like
free
fun.
time, then they got rid of it.
What were you saying, Jason? Sorry,
What?
you were gonna say something, and then we kept talking over you.
No, I said I think it's called Laser Assault up there. Yeah, I think that's the place.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That was all I was saying.
I'll have
Okay.
to look into it. We'll form our own laser tag league with blackjack and hookers. Anyway. Okay, so speaking of, shooting it at each other without consequences, Call of Duty is introducing a new co-op mode called Exo Survival. That's going to be coming out, what month?
Soon?
Sometime? Holiday
At a
this
time. I
year.
don't know.
You're so bad
be
at
holiday
news.
this
Hold on,
year.
hold on. Let me look.
What?
Holiday this year.
Holiday this year?
Okay, so in
Yeah.
the next couple months.
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. Even though the newer ones have kind of lost me, I still kind of love playing Call of Duty with friends. Like me and Justin used to play
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2, that co-op mode all the time. Loved that shit, and I'm just kind of glad that the co-op, like couch co-op stuff, is starting to come back, at least in these.
Well, so is that what this is then?
It's
So
it's horde mode.
It's
Yeah, and
It's just horde
It's
mode.
basically horde mode, like remember us playing
Yeah,
Halo
yeah,
Reach the other day?
Yeah.
Same kind of deal, but like they always put a little twist on it, like ghosts. In Call of Duty Ghosts, you're fighting against aliens, and but there's objectives you have to meet while fighting them, and it's really cool. So
And it seems like, just looking at the screenshot they have here, exosuits and environmental suits apparently are in now.
The
Yeah.
thing.
Which, to be granted, it's pretty badass. I mean, I've always liked it, but it's
and this one's big. Like this one's new thing is PMCs and like being. I'm not sure if it's against or for them, but and just it looks interesting.
seeking to take control of the government. So depending on which side you're on, that's bad and good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things. Like in the trailer, the main guy for the PMCs is like move him out. Let's hit him there. And like some government dude that's like, on whose authority? And he's like, on my authority. Because
So
it's
it's
like
basically like every cliched
You
Yeah.
can't handle
action
the truth.
movie.
It's
exactly.
Call of Duty, of course it is.
yeah.
What am I saying? Golly.
Everything they do is cliche.
What's the guy
not everything.
from House of Cards?
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey?
Kevin
Thank
Spacey.
you. Yeah, he's the main bad guy.
Hey.
Or the main guy, I should say.
Yeah.
I'm all about that.
What were you saying, Jason? Besides, you hate Call of Duty?
Nothing. That was about the gist of it.
Wait. Do they have him like facial scanned in there? Like he's actual? Yeah,
Yes.
I saw that earlier, and I'm like, that looks like Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, no, that's him.
That's awesome that they actually like. It isn't just his voice; it's actually Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might actually play this game just because
Yeah,
of
me
Kevin
too.
Spacey.
I'm not huge into Call of Duty, but I'd give this a shot.
Well,
I
I'll
haven't
have to
played
get it
a-
on 360 and play with you.
Yeah, I haven't played a Call of Duty since Call of Duty 2, really. I played some Black Ops, but just because of Kevin Spacey, I'm thinking about picking this up. Because he's awesome. I played some Black Ops, but just because of Kevin Spacey, I'm thinking about picking this up.
Yeah.
He's a pretty
Wow,
cool
that was a
dude.
delay.
That is definitely a selling point. That and couch co-op, but that's just because I've got massive game collection. I think I've got like 3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It seems like couch co-op has really gone out of style, and co-op in general has really moved out, which is too bad, because that's, to me, is way more fun, having people with you and playing alongside you as opposed to against you or,
Well, and the reason I like that is because even with the best internet connection,
I feel
you
like
still can only fight lag.
I feel like co-op is still there, but it's definitely not couch co-op. It's just like, oh, well, you can play online with each other. It's like, well,
That's true.
that's cool, but it doesn't have the same feeling as couch co-op does.
Oh yeah. Like
couch co-op does.
like me and Justin have been playing Diablo 3 over the just after we're done with the podcast, and yeah, we're still here. Fun jump cut. This looks fun. Couch co-op. Yeah. As I was saying, me and Justin have been playing Diablo 3 couch co-op lately, and it is just there's something about it. I'm not a huge fan of Diablo. I played all the way through 2. I played a bunch of 3, and I can't do it alone. I need people in the room with me, or else it's not fun for me. And I'm really glad at least they did it, but it needs to happen on more games. So.
Well, and I would argue, that the couch co-op helps sell more games, because you get playing with somebody and they can play it if their friend has it, and then it's like, you know what, I start liking this game a lot. I think I want to have it for myself and play online. If both options are available.
Yeah, if you don't have to buy it again just to play with people, it makes it much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
on
I'm back.
the other side of it, it's kind of like, well, if I can play with my friends while still being able to sit in my underwear on my own couch in my own home, I can definitely see the appeal of non-couch co-op, but I think you're definitely right. Mario Kart 8 has been
Oh, I love
pretty
that
much,
game.
the reason to gather among our little circle of friends for the last few weeks, just constantly.
Okay, just to argue for fun, you could just get friends who are comfortable being around you in your underwear.
That's true.
Oh,
It
but
wouldn't
so-
be difficult in my case.
Those type of friends are rare.
Playing it up there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well then, what's next on our thing?
Yeah.
That's actually it.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Well, we can talk about some of the wild card issues that maybe.
Throw them at me.
Well, no.
it's your turn to bring something up, Justin.
All right, shut up. Well, because the stuff I want to talk about is not related to the podcast. It's like science, with a capital.
We do science. We like science.
I like science. Okay, well then, there's a bunch of shit happening around Mars.
The India lander.
There's one. Windows 9. I haven't heard of that. Tell me more.
Oh yeah, Windows 9 being unveiled.
On September 30th. It's
So
just a
next
rumor. Just a rumor, but it has been it's the kind of rumor that has come from enough sources that you're just like, this might be a thing. And everyone's just hoping it's the Windows 7 to Windows Vista.
So
Yeah.
wait, it's a rumor that it's getting revealed next week?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's been there's 5 different sources,
Yeah, Microsoft.
including some in other countries. So
Yeah, and it's been rumored for a
Microsoft
long time.
executive in France is seemingly. There's another
Yeah.
weasel word for
Yeah.
us. Seemingly confirmed. So what the hell does that mean? Seemingly confirmed. They either have or they haven't.
Well, it seemed like he was like, yeah,
Okay.
totally.
well, we'll
But
be able to talk
really,
more
he was
about it
like-
next week.
Yeah, because they say, yeah. Okay, so next week there'll probably be more breaking
Yeah, we'll
stuff.
update you on it
Okay.
next week.
But Windows 7, that could be big, maybe.
Windows 9?
Windows 9? You
Well,
go
Yeah.
ahead.
I told
But
you.
Windows 9. Did I say 7?
Well,
Yeah, you said
Jason,
7.
you ever heard?
Yeah, you said 7. What was that?
Moving on. Well,
All right, I heard the guy who did Prometheus, right?
Ridley
Ridley
Scott.
Scott, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Apparently, he was talking to Harrison Ford about doing a Blade Runner sequel, which, to be perfectly honest, I'm not excited for. I mean, I didn't like Blade Runner the movie, and I don't like the book either.
See, I only read the book. I've never seen the movie.
I like both, personally. But I will definitely admit, the first half of that movie is hard to watch. Like, it lost me three times before I finally just sat through it, and I love the second half, personally.
Okay, I got lost at creepy robot workshop guy, if you remember that part.
I think that's
Lost.
kind of about where I was getting lost,
Okay,
too.
well, it freaked me out.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that said, I don't know, like, it's just another in a long string of, this movie doesn't need a sequel, make something, like, even if it ends up being what may as well be a Blade Runner sequel, don't put the damn name on it. Just make a new movie.
Yeah. Well, and then also in that same article, again, I'm sorry I don't have it with me because reasons.
All of those are links, dude.
No, it's not in here.
Oh,
This is
okay.
coming
we'll
from.
post
Oh,
links
duh, I'm stupid.
as usual.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I remember reading in the same article that there was more. It's more solid, the Prometheus sequel.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and it's going to be about the David and God, what was her name in the movie?
I
know-
don't remember.
Starts with an L or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay.
It was a forgettable film.
main
It's
character,
better.
science lady.
Yeah.
It's about those two and what happens to them after that, which is really good because at the end of that movie, that was like one of the only things I had about that movie. It's like, no, what happened? That's the interesting stuff going away in the spaceship.
Tell me what happens.
It's like, that's the movie I want to see.
We never cared about Charlize Theron. Let's just get to the good stuff.
Man, she was hardcore in that show.
That's true. I got to give her props for that, but well, that's for another time.
There was definitely some good bits in that movie.
Oh,
but,
man.
like, some of the overall stuff was kind of, like, I don't know, I liked the whole, that's the alien now, but,
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean,
like, that was kind of cool, but at the same time, it's just, like, there was just a certain, it's like, it's kind of missing what made the Alien movies really good for me.
well, and see, and I didn't buy it for Alien. I don't even treat it as one of the Alien movies in my brain because when I first saw that, I think I saw it in 3D too, which I'm not really much of a fan of usually. But oh my god, it was the sheer visual spectacle of Prometheus was just amazing, and like it just made the space travel thing almost feel realistic. I mean, it's
That's true.
realistic as space travel with shit like that can be. And I don't know, that was really cool. So anything made in that same spirit, I'm really looking forward to. So I don't know, Jason. Yeah, I mean, you guys. There's links. You guys want to talk about something?
Well, unless
Well, we could just talk about how Nintendo's 125th birthday was last week.
no.
Oh, the guy.
No,
No,
like
the
the
company.
The company. How can the company be 125 years old?
They were a card company before.
You're kidding.
No,
I didn't know this.
you're like the one guy on Earth, apparently.
No, well, shit. Well, enlighten me.
Yeah, they started off as a card company, and they made, playing card type games and things like that for a long time, and then in the 80s, Shigeru Miyamoto made a game called Donkey Kong.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. See, that's the
It was
things.
Jumpman and
Yeah, and Mario was Jumpman, by the way.
and what was his girlfriend's name? Paulette
Yeah, I think so. Something like
or
that.
Pauline? Yeah, that's what it was.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Good times.
I really wonder what, how businesses will have that established in, or since this year.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I mean, the ones that aren't full of shit, I really wonder what the oldest, business is. And, not in the sense of, the oldest business, being, prostitution. But I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Who is the oldest current company that has been running for X
Yeah,
long.
I'm really curious, and I don't know
We'll
what
have
my
to
search
pose the
terms.
question, see if anybody knows.
Yeah.
If you know, please put it in the comments.
Yes, please.
Um,
Well,
I,
do you want to discuss anything else? Because I think...
I think we're good, unless you want to, I don't know, expand upon that somehow with Nintendo or whatever.
Happy birthday, Nintendo. Keep making games, because you're doing great.
Yay!
For the most part. No
Well-
more handing off beloved franchises to Team Ninja, please.
Yeah, no.
But other than that, good job.
I think Team Ninja got blackballed after that.
Well, I don't know. Whoops. Anyway. Yeah, so happy birthday. Have a lovely...
Have a lovely,
Birthday.
laughter-filled birthday last week, Nintendo. I'm sure there was plenty of cake and other weird Japanese traditions.
But cake is a weird Japanese tradition.
It is now.
Okay. All right. Well, this has been End User Input. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below. Maybe leave a like if you really liked it, because like. See you next week. Bye.
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 Thanks for listening to this week's End User Input podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and favorite, and leave a comment below. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at the links provided below. Also follow the links to relevant content. See you next week.